Hi, welcome. So today is, my throat's raspy. Today's Monday, March 10th, and we are on part 3 of the 5-part series for transformation, which is really about embracing change so that we can ultimately be transformed, achieve that, or experience it on some level. And we, as humans, tend to be a little resistant to change at times, so I thought, why not create a 5-part spread, 5 being the number of transformation in numerology, to see what messages can come through to really guide us and support us when we're dealing with change. And there's a lot going on in our outer world, and these readings so far have been pointing back inward because that's where it starts. That's where we plant the seeds. And so number 3 today is called Breaking Through the Cocoon. And so we're going to pull 3 overall cards to guide us, and then we'll get into the actual reading. So thank you, Spirit, for these clear messages. Woo! Here we go. So we have card 1, what old pattern must I release to make room for change? We have the Empress. This is funny because we got the Emperor, that's a whole thing, but we got double Emperor for the overall energy for the story arc of these 5. So it's funny that we're getting the Empress. What old pattern must I release to make room for change? I know that what that's going to be about, maybe. And then what strength or resource can I rely on during this transition? We have the 6 of Swords. And then for the 3rd card, we had what step will help me move forward with courage? Oh, you know what's funny is I had a feeling we were going to get this card again, the 5 of Wands. I don't know why, but there it is. I did not expect it in what step will help me move forward with courage. I didn't expect it in that spot, but it's never as I expect. Oh, look, we have a guest. He's my co-host. So anyway, let's... at first what I want to say is what's coming to me right away. With old pattern must I release to make room for change? The Empress is about receptivity, about just sitting back in her inner knowing, inner strength, knowing anything. She can deal with anything that comes her way. And so I'm thinking what we might need to, what old pattern must we release is whatever our blocker is to becoming the Empress, which is usually about attachment, because she's like the epitome of release, and that like she just allows things to come to her instead of chasing them or grasping them. So whatever our attachments are, they're being called to let them go so that we can become the Empress and receiving what's coming our way. Just being open to anything. For example, like when we resist change, it hurts, right? It's like, like it's kind of painful, even physically, definitely mentally. And the Empress doesn't resist anything. She is receptive to whatever's coming, whatever's happening, because she knows she can deal with it from a place of inner strength. And when we resist change, it means it's a protective energy, meaning I don't think I can deal with this, and so I'm going to resist it. And that actually makes it more painful, doesn't it? So I think that's what that Empress will be about, but we'll find out. And then what strength or resource can I rely on during this transition? The 6 of Swords they call it the healing journey, where you're moving from choppy waters to calm waters. So it's literally transformative because you're going from maybe the past of pains and hurts and angst and worry and all the things into calmer waters of just overall well-being. And that could be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It could be any or all of those things. And so we'll get some clarification. The strength is knowing that you are moving to the calmer waters. And it's not just the knowing that it's going to happen. You are the captain of this ship. Literally, she's on a boat guided by birds. The birds are pulling her in. But she intended to go on this journey. She desired it. She committed to the journey. And there she is going across those waters. There's support there. There are people helping her perhaps. But it's your desire and intention to move through this resistance, the resisting waters that are so turbulent, to move through the resistance to the calmer waters of acceptance, to achieve that just transformative effect that flowing with change can have. And then we have what step will help me move forward with courage. This one's a little unclear at the moment, because the Five of Wands is that friendly rivalry, competition. There's an element of ego. It's like my idea, like you want to move forward with your plan, but not really taking into account other people. But again, I feel like it's a temporary energy where it's not like that's always the way you are, always the way you operate in the world. There may just be something that says, like there's this courage of saying, yes, I'm ready to move forward. But there's probably a shadow element here that's saying, don't forget the people around you. The reason you want to be, I don't want to say be better at change. It's so weird to say it that way. But to kind of flow more freely, just kind of be in more of a flow state in your life. Go with the flow. A lot of people say, by the way, the people who say, I just go with the flow, are usually the people who don't. So I don't know why I feel called to say that. But I think it's the people who desire to go with the flow. The people who say that are the ones who desire to. So what I'm getting in all of this is a lot of desire to go with that flow state, to become the flow so that you aren't in resistance. And so there's something here that says there's still like this desire, which is that courage to move forward, because you have to have desire first to be like motivated to even be able to dig deep and draw strength through the hard times. And I think this has an element of saying 5 is transformation. Yeah, there's a lot coming up here that's not so clear yet, so we're going to clarify that. All right, so let's get into the reading. What I'd like to do is, I've never done this before, but I love the number 3, and we're on number 3 in this series of 5. And so that's why I laid them out this way, because I feel like this will flow in any direction. And so I kind of got that vibe of like, you know, it's not linear perhaps, it's cyclical. And we might find ourselves in any one of these placements along this journey of it becoming more adaptive, becoming more accepting of the world and how it is showing up today, and accepting of ourselves and how we're showing up today. So what I'd like to do is understand, let's first clarify each card. So the Empress, what old pattern must I release to make room for change? Thank you, Spirit. What is this Empress telling us? We have the King of Swords. Ooh, and the Two of Swords. I kind of want to pull 3 because we're on number 3, and the Queen of Wands. So with this Empress, who's like the epitome of acceptance and inner strength and receptivity and intuition, and she's so nurturing too, and she's like, some people think like she is like the ultimate, like she's able to birth things into the world. Some people even say when you draw that card you're gonna get pregnant. I don't believe in that stuff, but it's saying that she is she's just like Mother Earth, you know, that's like she has that vibe about her. And so it's like, what keeps us from tapping into that just equanimity, like, and taking things, like we know everything comes in cycles, and the Empress knows that even in the hard times, there's always, it's going to get better. Things flow between extremes, things are on cycles. She has that Mother Earth energy. I don't know how else to describe it. And so what we have here, and what old pattern must I release to make room for change? The King of Swords is all like thinking he's always right. He's acting from a place of like logic all the time. I mean, that's just kind of an obvious thing. We've got to drop the mind chatter and the ego state that says, yeah, my way is the right way. And that's when we have that state, it's resistant to change, isn't it? And then we have the Two of Swords, which is like, again, of the mind, because it's swords. And see how she's kind of blocking out and putting a blindfold on and saying, like, she's kind of a little indecisive too. This is her being like, hold on, I'm just sort of stuck. But she has a bunch of intuition backing her. So that's always a reminder that you can tap into that when your thoughts are keeping you in a state of indecision. And there's something here with change that says, like, hold on, this is going too fast. I'm blocking everything out, but that's a way of keeping yourself stuck and not flowing with all of this water that you can flow with in this card. It's saying it's right there. Just take your blindfold off and come out of that resistance, because this is like the ultimate resistance. Like, stop, things are moving too fast. I just can't take it. And then the Queen of Wands is, I think of her like the Empress a little bit, but the Queen of Wands is also, she's like, she's fire and water. The wands are fire, queens are water. And so she's really balanced. And so by dropping these tendencies of acting only in logic instead of feeling into our heart space too, and thinking we've got the right answer and things should look this way, not like that, that's resistance energy. And the Two of Swords is also resistance. The Queen of Wands, she's a creator. She's not a resistor. She has the kind of magician energy. She's a manifester. She's like our bridge between going from all of this mind stuff and thinking we're right and think we've got the right answers and the world should look like this, and therefore I'm resisting what's actually happening because I've got my own ideas. She's like, wait a minute, I don't actually care about any of that because I can create the world I want to see. And then she moves in, she's the bridge over into becoming the Empress, because the Empress is like, hell, I don't even have to worry about the way I want things to look because I'm just accepting of everything. I'm accepting for things just as they are. And so, of course, I got chills. So anyway, the Empress is really telling us those are the old patterns we have to release. And then step into that creation energy. And that might be like a big leap. By the way, I have to keep checking that I have my microphone on. I can't be trusted. It's happened too many times. And so leaping from resisting, like, contraction into like expansive creation is quite a leap, isn't it? So sometimes we just have to change our belief system. Like, we believe that the world is okay as it is because of the cycles of change. It's like the Wheel of Fortune card that we might pull. It's because that's certainly coming up in this energy, is things are cyclical. And sure, we may not have experienced it in our lifetime yet, but it's happened in the history of humanity at some point. And it's like, we got to ride the waves, and just accept that everything's going to work out. It really will. So let's clarify the Six of Swords, please. This healing journey. And this is for what strength or resource can I rely on during this transition? We have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. We're getting a lot of court cards here, which is kind of it's interesting because the courts, they have big personalities, and I think that's oftentimes the shadow side of that is like, we have very firm ideas of who we are and how the world should be, and if it can kind of be jarring to have that big personality when there's so much just when change is such a constant. But that's not all for all the court cards though. So King of Pentacles is actually very grounded, and so this is definitely a strength or a resource you can rely on is, and I was thinking about this morning, this whole idea of grounding, because I'm like, I know how it feels to me to be grounded, and I've tapped into this a lot, especially with the work I do with energy work and other modalities. Like, what does grounding really mean to me? It truly is moving from all of this flightiness that's like so just, oh, you can't really, like, thoughts are so, they're just false. They're not existent. They're just energy forms. They're not tangible. And then coming down into the felt sense of the body. Like, when you come from all of this, that's just like, what? Like hamster wheel, and coming down into the felt sense of the body, meaning like how emotions land, how energies land in the body, even how certain thoughts will land in the body, especially the positive ones. Like, the felt sense is the way to become, and it is moving from higher to lower toward the ground. And so to me, that's just a more tangible way to think about grounding. And so this King of Pentacles is very, very grounded, and that's something you can rely on, is like, that's a resource for you during change, is to just like even visualize the energy, the thoughts dissipating, and just coming into focusing on the body senses. Like, what do I see in my surroundings? What do I hear in the soundscape around me? Like, I hear, did the washer stop? No, but the washer was going. I hear the little heater. I kind of hear the lights, like, you can get really subtle with it and just feel how that even vibrates inside your ears. And then feel, if you are in a state of an emotion, where is that emotion landing in the body? Like, anxiety might be down here or up here, or my breath becomes tight, or if I'm really relaxed and just in a state of love and flow, I might just feel so light and expansive, like I don't feel constricted anywhere. So that's what I mean by coming into the felt sense, which is a very grounding energy. Like, put your feet on the floor. And so that's definitely a resource during these moving from choppy waters to calmer waters, is grounding. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is this divine gift of a fresh start or a fresh perspective. And again, it's pentacles, so it's very grounded. It's very of the material world. And so during this transition, just know that it's even possible to have a fresh start or a fresh perspective. That it's even possible. And so, like I said, this is when you're moving from kind of this resistance into creation energy. There's a belief system that you just have to even believe it's possible. And because this is the divine, this is like belief systems. This is connecting with just the universal knowing that that's even possible for you. And then the King of Cups is interesting because he's another very balanced. He's like the Queen of Wands. The King of Cups is fire and water also. And so there's this balance. There's a very like go with the flow. He's literally floating on his throne over these waters. So you can be grounded and go with the flow, and with this belief system that that's even possible. And so those are energies to tap into, and maybe we'll get some more clarification on how to do that. And so what step will help me move forward with courage? Let's really clarify this Five of Wands, because that's the one I'm the least clear on. Just tap into that. We have another court card. We have the Queen of Swords. She's water and air. We have the Sun. And the Chariot. Wow. Okay, let's take a breath. And a drink. Okay, so this is what step will help me move forward with courage. first of all, literally, the chariot is momentum. It's the energy of movement. It's the energy of grabbing the reins of your life and moving forward with intention and purpose. And there's some passion here. There's momentum. And so that's literally in the placement of moving forward. So that's a confirmation. That's the last one we pulled. And so we have the Queen of Swords followed by the Sun. The Queen of Swords, I wonder if that's the energy here of the Five of Wands, which is what is keeping me from moving forward with courage. The Five of Wands, if it's just an ego state, it's like it's showmanship in a way. It's like, look at me, I'm courageous, but we don't feel it. It's all just an act. It's like a facade with the Five of Wands. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who's still like, she has some inner strength, but I still feel like she's a bit up here, and she's like, she kind of keeps people a little bit at arm's length sometimes, even though she's like a queen, nurturing energy. But there's this like, okay, come forward, but I'm gonna like tell you how I really think, or I'll have a judgment about you. I'm like, there's still this, a little bit of that energy of like, at least in this reading, especially when it's kind of clarifying that Five of Wands. And so to move out of that, we have the Sun, which is this optimism. It's just, again, it's the belief that it's possible. Optimism is about possibilities. It's about even believing the possibility that we can change our old habits of being all up here. There's so much sword energy here. And then we're moving into being balanced and grounded. And then what strength, what step will help me move forward with courage? It's optimism. It's hope. And I think our world needs a big dose of that right now. And I feel like that's why it's coming through in these collective energies. When we're doing a whole series on change, it's like, yeah, the Sun, just you better believe it's possible first. And the Chariot's like, then you've got the momentum. Then you've got the ability to move forward with courage. So what I'm gonna do is spread these out, and then let's get a different deck for filling in some of these gaps. Actually, since we're running low on time, I think I'll have to go into the extended, but I think this gives you a good picture. Before we start getting more nuanced, I do want to pull an oracle message for everyone, and then we'll go into the extended. And so because this is like breaking through the cocoon, I feel like I want to do, I know I did these last time. There's something, what's calling us, people? What's calling us? 1 second, please. I think I want to do a Woodland Wardens, because the cocoon makes me think of animals like the butterfly, and then the Woodland Wardens, usually there's some really sweet messages here of, you know, with, and especially nature, they're so resilient, like our animal friends and nature in general. They don't resist. There is no resistance in nature, in terms of like, they flow with the cycles. They know when to go dormant. They know when to wake back up. Thank you, Spirit. We have the salamander and black pepper, inspiration. That's that, again, hope. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. 17. Maybe. Okay, here we go. I love the salamander. That's also the king. Where did he go? There's salamanders. Maybe it's the King of Wands. There's salamanders all over tarot. And they're like protection also. Inspiration. Symbols of fire and heat. The salamander and black pepper call us to be full of energy and inspired. Both Aristotle and Pliny the Elder wrote of the salamander's ability to withstand flames, and the creature's association with fire is echoed in ancient Greek myth. Black pepper or peppercorn has an earthy flavor with a spicy kick, making it a perfect match for the fire-friendly salamander. In the upright, so when we read this as light, a new opportunity awaits. To fulfill it, you must remain inspired, applying your full energy to your creative endeavors. Create. In the reverse or shadow, you may be feeling the heat. Stakes are high and the pressure is getting to you. Remember the salamander's ability to withstand flames and hold your ground. What inspires you? How do I invite and incorporate more inspiration into my life? That is definitely the energy we need, especially at the midpoint. This is literally the midpoint of our 5-part series. We need to be inspired. And there's hope, there's healing, there's moving into this receptivity and acceptance through the act of creation energy, like moving into being creative beings again. Because like that's what this energy out in the world right now is saying. It's like everyone stay divided, stay separated, have really big opinions, especially about each other, stay super divided on your side and your side, and that's keeping us small and contracted. We're not creating the world we want to see, we're just judging the world we think we see. And so this inspiration is saying, we're halfway through this journey. Get inspired in whatever way you can. Be hopeful. Because out there, those are just thoughts. Thoughts don't exist. Even your thoughts about what's happening in the world, it's false. We think we have the full picture and we don't, right? There's so much nuance to everything. So it's like, just drop it. It's not doing us any good. It literally only harms us to just be like, judge, criticize, negativity. And this is saying, get inspired. Go out. This one's the same. Like, go out in nature to get inspired. So anyway, I'm going to grab some tea, switch over my laundry, pet some cats, and then meet me back here at the extended link somewhere down here. And I just recently moved to Substack. So I imagine the way I'm envisioning putting content together to make it easy for you is that I will link to the main video on YouTube because that's out there for the public, and then I'll put a link to the extended somewhere down here so that you can like see both in one place, because I want to make it super easy. I've been loving Substack so far because I have a lot more options to make things easier for you. And I'm going to try to figure out how not to spam y'all with email all the time because I put out a lot of stuff. And eventually, if you're watching this, I have nobody out there right now. Let me know, like, is it too many emails? You know, once I start going, like, I can back off. Like, I don't have to send any emails. But I also, like, want to make sure those of you who do want these in a timely manner know when they're available. So, and with that said, if you're on Instagram, follow me there. I actually use that as my way to say, okay, I posted this there, posted that there, posted that there, so that like that's a one-stop shop basically for all of that. Okay, thanks for being here.